This is the EVP Podcast.
All right. In case you weren't sure after that awesome intro that we have at the beginning of every podcast, This is the EVP Podcast. I am Beaker.
I'm Ghosty McGhostface.
And I'm DVO.
And we are talking about stuff this week, just like we do every week. Last week we talked about the Raventhorn Manor.
House of Raventhorn.
Yes, House of Raventhorn. We still need to get those EVPs up on the social media.
So yes. Let's see if I can. Okay, I need to find a way to clip it out and then post it up.
That's not too hard. We can do that. But yes, thanks for listening. And I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, I'm sure you did because, you know, like we've said before, we're awesome.
That's right.
You better be enjoying it. Ghosty don't play that.
Ghosty don't play. I like that new sign off. Ghosty don't play that. I might just quit my peace out butterflies just so we can end every episode.
I'll do
with
them both.
Ghosty don't play that.
We just do it all.
I don't have a signature sign off though. I just smile.
It'll come.
I have a signature smile. That's what I
There
have.
you go.
So if you want to see the signature smile, you got to be watching on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right.
Which we post every week along with the on all the multiple platforms we're on. Spotify, iHeartRadio, I think.
Yep.
We're on
Stitcher,
Apple
Podcasts,
Google
I think, Google Play,
Podcasts.
Anchor as well. I have to burp. Excuse me. Professionalism. Did you guys have any investigations or any experiences this week? I didn't.
I did not.
Actually, I kind of did.
Oh, what
experiences. No.
do you mean you kind of did?
Kind of. So I went to Vegas, as you guys know.
Oh, yes.
And this whole last week, obviously last week when we recorded, I had only been back in town for probably about
Couple
2
hours.
And then I came over here and we recorded last week's episode. And I was a little spacey, I admit, because I was kind of tired just driving all day. But I noticed throughout the week, and one of the guys I work with actually noticed this too, my energy and just my whole attitude was just different.
Okay.
And I felt completely out of place. Like I wasn't myself all week long. And it was funny because actually someone at work is just like, what's up with you? Like he's the only one that seemed to have noticed too, which I think is interesting.
That is interesting.
But he's like, he could tell that something was different or off about me. And
Is your work wife?
He used to be.
Oh.
We used to run one of the production lines together.
So he knows your body.
So he does, yes, intimately. His name is also Tim. So it's it's funny. I call him the two of us the Tim Towers.
That's good. That's a good one.
But yeah, so and just all day Friday and all day Saturday, I felt so like not myself.
Okay.
I was so spacey. I was just out of it. I was irritated by everything. And I think part of it was being an emotional empath. I think being all around all of that energy in Vegas with all these people, because Vegas just barely opened up like less than a month ago. And so it was busy. There was a lot of people there. And I know at one point there was some people that got into an argument over a place in line at a restaurant or something.
That while you were there, like you saw it?
Yeah, dude. They were like two people behind us. And Peaches, I believe she said she saw one of them had a gun in his waistband. So,
Oh, interesting.
yeah, I was just kind of like, we felt a little kind of afraid to be there at the time because you got these two big dudes arguing.
Yeah.
One, she said one had a gun. So we just kind of, when we got our pizza, we just took off. We didn't stick around. But I felt off all last week. And then I actually went to Synchronicities on Saturday. And there was one of the local energy healers. He was actually just there hanging out too. Like he wasn't there working. And he sensed that something was off with me as well. So he's like, you know what? If you got some time, I'm going to run home and grab my stuff when I come back and we can do a session.
Okay.
And so I've never done like a Reiki session before. Like I've done energy work with people before. You've actually sat in on a session like you and I had back-to-back sessions. Ghosty and I did. And, you know, they kind of, the healers that I've worked with have just kind of like pushed their energy and they use drums and stuff. But what this guy did, he had tuning forks. So he used those to start with. And then he also has like this really cool selenite like dagger that he bought.
Okay.
That he uses to like cut cords.
Okay.
And
we talked about this.
It was interesting because like I've never really understood the whole concept of like like needing selenite dagger or anything like that to cut cords. Because I've learned how to kind of do that without needing like a physical device, if that makes sense.
Is that kind of more like a metaphorical sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
Metaphysical.
Oh.
So what cords are is basically like
Attachments.
Like, so like you and I, the three of
Stuck
us, because we do
together.
this podcast together, we're kind of linked. We have cords between
Because we hold hands the whole time we do this
Yes,
episode.
we do.
Those are our cords.
Those are
You can't see this right now, but Tim's holding my cord. my hands are free. And now our cords are tied together.
and then he went through and like aligned all my chakras
Okay.
and put everything back into balance. And it was like night and day difference. Like I've done energy work before, but this one was different because when he was using the tuning forks, I've never felt this before, but my whole, like from my neck up, my whole head was just like vibrating. Like the energy was just crazy. And then when he was like getting close to being done with the session, it actually felt like, the pineal gland in your third eye. It literally felt like I had an eye there on my forehead trying to open up. And when I talked to him about that, he's like, I noticed like when he was going through putting his hands on each of my chakras to kind of help align them and open them up. Like I noticed when he got to my third eye, because he starts with the crown, gets to the third eye, and he literally just like put his hands on my forehead and then took them right off because like my third eye was already where it needed to be. He focused more on my heart chakra and my sacral chakra. He said those were the ones that were carrying a lot of emotional baggage that needed to be cleared. But it was like night and day difference. When I finished the session, I felt like my energy was renewed. I felt like myself again. Where this entire last week, I felt like I was somebody else.
Just kind of out of it.
Off.
Like kind of foggy.
Yeah. I felt like clouded, like foggy. Like I just didn't feel like I was me, if that makes sense. But after I had the session, I felt fine. I felt normal again. And I highly recommend energy work to anybody. I know I've done some energy work before. I know Dell can do energy work. Ghosty does energy work. But they have a lot of healers that do energy work, different types of energy work at Synchronicities. So they're not paying me to say this, but check out their Facebook page. They have a link that shows all the different healers. If you're looking for something like that, you can go through and kind of see their pictures and read about them and pick the one that's best for you.
And if they do want to pay you, where can they find you?
Oh, you can just email us at evp.pod@gmail, and you can contact either Ghosty or myself if you're looking for energy work.
Nice.
But the reason why I'm talking about this is because our topic this week is energy vampires.
The kind of suck your blood.
Yes, the kind that suck your blood.
Suck your succubus.
Yes.
They succubus your...
Not succubus. Those are different.
Actually, we should do an episode one day about those. That would be interesting.
We could.
Yeah.
I used to not believe in those until I actually
got
came across
succubus.
got succubus.
You got succubus.
All right.
It was actually a case that was given to us, through a friend of mine. Was like, "Hey, my cousin's having problems."
How much penicillin did that take to get rid of?
All of it. Whole bottle of Pepto-Bismol and penicillin. Kept it away.
Kept the smell away. Did I forgot what I was gonna say. Anyways, energy vampires.
Yes.
Not the blood sucking one.
Not the blood sucking ones.
The essence sucking ones.
Yes.
Essence.
The ones that drain you dry
I hate energy vampires.
in a metaphysical sense.
I've worked with energy vampires.
What do you mean?
I have had to work with somebody who
At a job?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
At a job.
Yes.
And I'm not going to name any names, but
Just kidding.
I'm just going to throw out a generic name. We'll just call him Bob.
Okay.
What's his name actually, Bob?
I'm just going to throw out a name out there, okay? Anyways, what a pain in the ass that was to work with. Well, I was the only one that could last with that guy.
Why do you think you could?
Patient as hell.
Okay,
I'm
good
really
for you.
patient.
Good for you.
And
Really high. No, I'm just kidding.
that also helps. That really, really helps.
No, patience does help.
And so does being high. But yeah, I was able to deal with it, but just so long of just trying to say, "Hey, what's up?" and they just walk by. Oh, I wish I was dead. It's like, wow.
What about Eeyore? Thanks,
Yeah.
thanks for coming to
Wow.
work today, Eeyore.
Well-
That's what we should call him. Generic name, Eeyore.
Eeyore.
Yeah, they're both the same.
Yeah.
All any, don't mind me.
Yeah.
Nobody else
Good one,
does.
good one.
So for those of you that don't know exactly what an energy vampire is, it's basically someone that they feed off your emotional and psychic energy. They drain that from you, whether it's intentional or not. People that display traits of an energy vampire, they usually lack empathy, consideration, and emotional maturity.
And most of the time, it is unintentional.
A lot of times it is. There are certain types of energy vampires where I think it is intentional, and we'll get to some of those. There's the one type that comes to mind right off the bat is just the narcissist.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that they are energy vampires intentionally.
Which is why I can't watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
I wonder also if they are sociopaths. Some of them, anyways.
Possibly.
I did a slight test that I found out about sociopaths.
What do you mean?
If you yawn, you know how if you yawn in front of somebody, just that motion
Right.
makes everybody else want to yawn.
Yes.
Because the empathy factor and all that. Well, if you yawn in front of a sociopath, they will not yawn back. So I would do those tests all the time just to see if it would ever do it. Look at you over here. Anyways, this Bob,
Okay.
I would yawn in front of him all the time. No reaction. No yawn backs. I'm like, there's something wrong up top. Something that's not clicking.
Yeah, I definitely see that.
So I heard that was the thing with sociopaths. I mean, he could also be a sociopath. He would talk about guns and killing people all the time.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bob.
Yeah. What a shitty way to do, like work.
What a bleak outlook on life. It's just like, I don't want to live. I want to kill people. Like how do you go through life living like that? That is insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's people like that.
They go on shooting sprees.
Yeah, exactly. They go on shooting sprees and massage parlors.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, people are just put the guns down when you're not hunting animals for food.
I carry mine in my fanny pack for protection.
Next in a couple
Hey,
days,
people
I'll
are
be carrying
animals.
mine.
Maybe you're hunting in person for food. I don't know.
For food.
It looks delicious.
He looks delicious.
Hey, when the apocalypse comes, like you're gonna maybe have to eat
Prepare
people.
now.
Yes. Don't do that. Oh. But yeah, usually people like that, they feed on other people's energy, and they'll prey on your energy to kind of help them feel better about themselves.
Yep, I see that.
Beaker, you sent a list of like 6 different types, and reading through that, I was like, yep, I know a person in that category. I know a person in that category. I know a person in that category. Like, it was pretty interesting because I wouldn't think there was different categories of energy vampire. I just thought of just someone just waste your time and energy. It's just energy vampire.
Exactly. That's kind of what most people think about it is. Like, I actually told someone that I was talking to that she was holding on to some energy she pulled off of a spirit, and I'm like, I told her that she was an energy vampire, and she got all like shocked and offended, and I'm like,
She go,
She hissed at you.
I held a mirror up to her to see if I could see her reflection.
That's hilarious.
But no, I had explained to her that like not all energy vampires are, like we said, are
need to
doing
be
it.
killed.
Exactly. How do you kill an energy vampire?
Stake through the heart or what?
With an emotional vampire.
Hugs and rainbows.
Funshine bear.
Yeah. Sunshine bear.
Care bear stare. But yeah, I don't know what I was saying. But energy vampires, they can be anybody. More likely than not, they're going to be close friends or family members, and sometimes people that you work with. But they're people that are going to be in your life for an extended period of time. They're not just like someone that you happen to walk past down the street or something like that.
Let's right now list all the energy vampires in our life right now. Just put them on blast right here on the episode.
I got rid of most of mine.
No, it's good. You should. You really should like limit the amount of time with them, or get them out of your life if you don't really need them in.
Yeah, I don't have anybody in my life that's a energy vampire.
Disagree with you.
Who?
If it comes up, it comes up. I'll
Me.
mention it.
I am an energy vampire. Not really. No.
No, but they are to me anyway. Because everyone feels like everyone's level of, empathy or empathic feelings are different. I think mine are a little in tune. Like I'm empathic to especially negativity. Energy vampires, basically.
Yeah.
Like they rub me the wrong way. I feel uncomfortable. I get like even like talking a little bit about this episode. Like right now, like I feel really like
Uneasy?
uncomfortable in my seat. Yeah.
You're thinking about it.
I'm thinking of them. Yes, I'm thinking of people. I'm thinking of what they've done. I'm getting very stir crazy in my seat.
Okay, I can think of who it is and who you're thinking about.
I'm right here, guys. You can just say it.
I'm not gonna say any names.
I'm not gonna say any names.
I'm not gonna say any. I'm not gonna
He
say any
sounds
names.
like
But
Streaker.
no, I'm gonna use a different. I'm gonna use a name that doesn't go by like Tim or something.
No.
Well, honestly, I think in a way, like everybody can be sort of an energy vampire.
Everyone can be, yeah.
But there are people that do it like on a daily basis. Like that's
It's a personality almost.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
They feed off of it. They're like a vampire feeds off blood.
Exactly.
Have you ever watched the show What We Do in the Shadows?
I think you showed me one episode. Of that.
Yes. And there's an energy vampire in the show.
They went to a party.
Well, tell the premise because when Beaker sent it, I did kind of think of that. So, Ghosty, maybe you kind of explain what that show is. 'Cause
Okay, so
it's
the
kinda
show
funny.
is think of the premise like The Office or Parks and Rec, where there's like a camera crew and they're like in their face interviewing them as they're like doing their day-to-day stuff.
and then like side one-on-one interviews.
Yeah, just their own little interview on the side while they're talking to the camera. So anyways, it's that type of a show inside of a vampire coven. And they have normal like vampires, like they're blah blah blah.
Right.
And then they
Count
have
Chocula, okay.
and then they have this guy Colin Robinson, who's just like an IT nerd, and he's
He's dressed in a suit with glasses.
just an IT nerd, and he's a energy vampire. So
You showed me this episode, and it was an episode where they're at like at a football party, and he just purposely like just chatting their ear off while they're trying to watch
saying the
football
dumbest
games.
shit,
Yeah, because he's just trying to suck.
and
their
everyone's just like,
energy.
"Oh my god!"
Who is this guy?
I think that might have been the same episode you showed me.
Oh, maybe we all watched it.
I think we were all here together. And then,
Oh yeah,
That was the only episode I've ever watched.
yeah. Because the one dude was like, they thought the guy that was hosting the party found out that they were actually vampires, so they're getting ready to kill him.
they're gonna kill him.
Then they realized that the guy had no clue.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
then
a
they
comedy.
wiped his. Because you know how vampires can wipe their memory.
Of course, everyone knows
Everyone
that.
knows vampire rules.
Yeah, this is a thing.
This is everyone knows the vampire rules and all that stuff. So, anyways, they can wipe their memory, and then in that episode, I think they wiped his memory too far back to where he doesn't know shit. Oh, it's a good episode.
That's a good show. You should
It is
watch.
a funny show.
So, anyways, yeah, Colin Robinson, he's an energy vampire.
Yes.
There's another episode where he works in this office and he just goes around desk to desk, just sucking anybody's energy. And there's this other new hire who is always crying about something or always has an issue going on. It turns out she's an emotional vampire.
Oh.
And just sucking people's emotional energy from them. And so they start like having a battle over he's trying to suck her energy, she's trying to suck his emotion. And they're like trying to hook up at the same time.
You gotta watch more of this show.
Emotional vampire. Okay, that's an interesting
Yeah,
one.
it's a great show. It's a great show.
It was funny. That episode we watched was funny.
You'll learn a lot about emotional or energy vampires in that.
That's funny.
You'll be able to recognize certain people like, that's you son of a bitch.
Trying to suck my energy.
Yeah. So, anyways, back to what you were saying.
So, so the list that we have that I sent out to you guys list 6 different types of energy vampires. The first one on the list is going to be the victim or the martyr vampire. Excuse me. So basically, what that is a person that preys off of your guilt. They believe that they are at the mercy of the world and will suffer primarily due to other people. Instead of these are the type of people that they don't take responsibility for their own lives. They blame and manipulate and emotionally blackmail others. Their dysfunctional behavior is due to their extremely low self-esteem.
That's also narcissistic behavior.
It is.
So that's kind of like the Eeyore, a little bit, right? Just a victim,
Yeah, everybody's fault.
but my own.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. It's always everybody else's fault, and that does fall under narcissism as well too, where they don't take responsibility for their own actions.
Mm-hmm.
And I know someone that is like this. Like these are the type of people that even if when they are proven wrong that they've made a mistake, they still can't acknowledge that they made the mistake and accept that and move on. It's still somebody else's fault.
Yeah.
I deal with that almost daily, to be honest with you, with a couple different people.
You're like that with the whole day shift. The whole day shift doesn't
The whole
do
day
it.
shift. All of everyone on the other shifts. That's not me. Everyone I work. No, just
It's
kidding.
all them.
It's these two guys, these knuckleheads.
Just show up with garlic.
Show up to garlic.
Banish you. The next one.
The next one is actually the narcissist vampire.
Oh, there's
So,
another
The ones
one.
who don't yawn.
The ones that don't yawn.
No, that's sociopath. Those are the sociopath vampires.
So the narcissist is actually, they don't have the capability of showing empathy or genuine interest towards other people.
So this is also sociopath?
Pretty much.
Or Kardashian. Yeah, either one.
Yeah.
They are the type of people that are very me first, you second. They're always wanting you to put their needs ahead of your own. They're the type of people
Like I'm
that,
feeling drained right now. You explaining this. I'm like, yeah, I know people like this. I'm getting tired already.
these type of people, and we used to work with somebody like this in the paranormal community. They're always like, me first. They're very charming type of people. Like,
Okay.
so they seem like they have a positive energy about them. They're very,
Just for selfish reasons.
but yeah, pretty much. It says if you are around a narcissist vampire, you might feel a sense of extreme disempowerment as you feel crushed beneath the limelight and self-absorption.
They're
So
sucking
basically,
it
like,
out.
so the experience that I had with this type of energy vampire was, no matter what I did, no matter the work that I did or the team did, or the group that I was working with did, they wanted to take all the credit for themselves. And they didn't want to share it. Like for me, I was just like, I'm more the type of person like, with this podcast, for example, this is something I'm not going to be like, look what I'm doing. Look what I did.
Yeah.
Like I didn't put this team together. I didn't start this podcast. We did this.
Exactly.
It was a group effort. Like it was the three of us, I came to you guys with the idea. I'm like, hey, we should do this. And you guys were on
Just
board.
waving your cord at us.
Waving my cord. I'm like, I've got my
Do
cords
we
in
get
you
anybody
now.
to grab this? Anyone want to attach themselves or what?
But we kind of all had the idea. We're all on the same page, and we all came up with the name together. The EVP podcast, the Energy Visions of the Paranormal. That's something that we actually sat down at Black Bear Diner for probably like 2 hours,
Yeah.
having breakfast, coming up with the name, of the
Brainstorming
team, the
away.
podcast, and all that, and we actually had a planning meeting. A narcissist vampire would be someone that's like, I did this. I got you
Right.
guys together, and I came up with the name of the team, and they're going to be all very about them, and they're going to want you. They basically are always going to make you feel like you're not worthwhile, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, the experience I had with this type of vampire, it would be something like, it would be somebody's birthday party. And this other person shows up and turns this other person's birthday party into their own, like, it's all about
There you
me.
go.
This is me.
That's a good
and
example.
it's like, no, bitch, this ain't about you. Get out of here, actually.
Wait, who invited you?
You know, and I've read about shit like that online where, like, this couple's getting married, right? And they book this really nice venue to get married at, and like the bride's soon-to-be mother-in-law booked the same venue 2 hours ahead of their
Oh
wedding
my gosh.
to renew their wedding vows because they wanted the day to be special for them too.
Oh my
It's like things like that. It's just like, don't do that. Like,
Yeah, like that's sucking my energy right now. You telling me that story, I'm like, oh, I'm deflated. Yes,
Very much so.
a Kardashian, yeah,
the Kardashian.
AKA.
So the next one we have is the Dominator vampire. Do you want to talk about this one?
I can read it.
That's all I've been doing.
They love to feel superior, like they're the alpha male or female. They have deep insecurities of being weak or strong, so they basically overcompensate for that. That reminds me of people I knew back in my early to mid 20s when we go to the clubs. Everyone to be the alpha, right? 'Cause
Wait,
they
you
get
mean
the-
we're not in our early to mid 20s?
I got a compliment that someone did think that last night about me. I was very.
I get that a lot, too.
I was like,
I love
thank you,
that.
thank you.
I love when I get that.
They're like, what are you like?
I get told I look like I'm old as shit.
They're like, what are you like? 28, 29? I'm like, thank you very much. I will buy your dinner tonight.
I'll be at an appointment with somebody who I'm older than, and then they start talking to me as if like I'm so young.
Right.
They're like, oh, checks? You probably haven't even seen a checkbook before. Fool. Little do you know I'm older than thou.
It reminds me of like my early 20s when we go to the club, right? And it was basically everyone's just trying to be the alpha. Everyone was trying to be the alpha, which essentially just would suck the energy out of the room because everyone's trying to one up each other. You know, it get tiring because you're trying to be the alpha. You're trying to get the girl.
I knew a guy that was like that. I don't know if a one-upper would fall under the Dominator category, but there was one guy, like, no matter what story you told, he always had to tell a story that happened to him that was better.
Oh, that's okay. I know somebody else who's...
Exactly. There was actually,
It was actually we were talking about Ghosty actually.
what I thought was hilarious is, like, we were at a party and I started making shit up. I'm like, yeah, I totally, like, rolled my expedition, like, 8 times and I was fine and there was no damage to the car.
Well, I rolled 12 times midair
In a Hummer.
and did a flip outside of that
That's exactly what he
landed.
did.
and landed.
Like, he was one-upping my bullshit story.
Firecrackers going off.
That's exactly what he did, though. It's like I was literally making up a story just to see what he would do, and he was trying to top it and come up with something better. And I was like, this didn't really happen.
I know.
He's like, how did you not have damage on the internal roll cage? Like, even if I did have one, like, that's not going to stop you from damaging your car rolling that much. But yeah, he was just like, he kind of didn't believe it, but he still tried to outdo it. And I'm just like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
So you're lying.
Ghost, you don't play that.
All of these also tell how to, like, nurture your energy, and we're just totally skipping over that. So you want to go with the next one too?
Yes, the melodramatic vampire. Melodramatic. They thrive on creating problems, like another Kardashian. Often their need to create constant drama is the product of a dark underlying emptiness in their lives. They also love seeking out crisis because it gives them a reason to feel victimized.
This is also the old co-worker I worked with, big time.
In what way?
He would go tattletelling on everything. So I would constantly do
You're
these
stirring the
things.
pot for drama.
Yeah, I would constantly do things, and I'd just have people watch. I'm like, hey, watch this. If he doesn't know where I'm at all times, he freaks out. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go hide behind these boxes and, like, give it 2 minutes, and he's going to start looking for us. And, yeah, 2 minutes, all of a sudden, he's just driving around everywhere, looking up and down aisles, just stopping production completely just so he can find where I'm at.
Yeah.
And then he'd go tattletale. And,
Causing drama.
yeah, it was funny. I was getting a kick out of it. Like, watch this shit. He's gonna lose his shit.
Dill's being the bully vampire. Or Ghosty.
Well, I'm not letting it drain me anymore. I'm watching it as it drains
You're
themselves.
creating it.
I'm watching them drain themselves.
Okay.
This
That's
is
one way to look at it.
It's like, aha, I'm defeating you. That's how you fight evil.
Let them self-implode.
Yes, that's exactly what was happening.
They're
Driving themselves crazy.
internally self-imploding with their drama.
So, anyways, yeah.
Yeah, those type of people, they feed off of the energy, the anger that it brings, or whatever emotion that it brings at the time. Like that's why they do it over and over again, is because they thrive off of like in your
Stirring the
situation,
pot.
it's like
He wants to go tell on me and then see me be in trouble or be disciplined for
They like
nothing.
that. They like that.
Yeah.
right.
Just
it makes them feel good about themselves.
There you go.
Aha! Look what I did. You know.
Yeah.
little does it know, whenever I get talked to about, well, like whenever it was getting talked to about it, it was just laughing at him the whole time. It's like, oh my God, so he's over here tattletelling again, right? I'm like, yeah, you should have seen what I did this time. I was hiding over here.
That's funny.
Ghosty's a vampire.
Yeah, he is. The bully kind. Bully.
Do you want to get in on this?
All right, what do we got over
We
here?
got the next one is
The judgmental vampire. Due to their severely low self-worth, the judgmental energy vampire loves to pick on other people. Their treatment of others is merely a reflection of how they treat themselves. Judgmental vampires enjoy preying on your insecurities and bolstering their egos by making you feel small, pathetic, or ashamed.
Yes.
Just like that.
just like that. When I move, you move.
So
just belittling, right? They're just belittling to make themselves feel better.
a lot of name calling.
Yeah. Bully.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
Yes.
Kind of in a way.
Bob.
Judgmental to Bob.
Well, it's because I know what's happening. And I'm like, haha, I'm going to defeat him. Ghosty don't play.
My hammer and magic helmet.
Yep.
Defeat the
Jump
energy
on my
vampire.
chariot. My the forklift chariot.
Chariot of fire.
I wonder if this is like maybe one of the more common ones, right?
Probably.
The more common. Like I'm just kind of looking at the list again real quick. I'm like, is this one of the more common? This is probably the most one that I think of when I think of energy vampire. Someone like this a little bit, or the Eeyore kind.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
victim and the ones the judgmental and the
victim.
victim are probably the
Most common.
two most common in my opinion.
I think so.
Because
I agree.
I've dealt with a lot of people that are like, oh, woe is me.
Yes.
You know, like everyone's always picking on me or whatever. Even if that's not the case. I mean, there have been times where I've been around people where like it does seem like. Have you ever noticed that there's like always like one person, like when you're in large groups that like everyone always gangs up on?
Like to pick on, or what do you mean?
Yeah, just like
Okay.
like if you're in a large group of friends, there's always that one person that like seems to always be the brunt of all the jokes.
Okay. Yeah.
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 I don't
that
know
was
if
me. So.
I don't know if I'd consider them actual like victim energy vampires, but it might help. It might kind of help create that
Oh yeah, for
Does that make
definitely.
sense?
Yeah, definitely.
because it might always be like, you know, always kind of getting people coming down on them. They might get to the point where they're just like, oh yeah, everyone's against me. The world's out to get me.
Why are they even hanging out with those friends then?
I don't know. I actually used to be that.
They like to be the victim. Is what this is saying. They like to be the victim. They
Honestly,
like to complain later.
I think when I was a little bit younger in my 20s, I kind of feel like I might have done that. Like not intentionally. Like I don't know that I was aware of it at the time, but I might have kind of been like the victim vampire where it's just like I just always felt like everybody was always out to get me and like nobody actually liked me for me, or they just wanted, you know, they only wanted to talk to me because they needed something from me.
And then you grew your beard out,
And then I grew my beard out.
and everything changed.
Yes.
I know.
Your testicles dropped. Everything.
Yeah, everything.
Everything. Everything. I met you guys and then I was like, oh, life's worth living.
No,
I'm a man
exactly,
now.
exactly. Only, yeah. Don't you
Now
ever shave
you're a
that beard
man,
again?
man. I had to though. I had surgery.
You lost your powers for a little bit, like Samson.
Yeah,
for
then
like
it grew back.
for like 2 weeks. It's not as long as it was, but it's still
Yet.
it's getting about as thick as
Yet.
it was. It's thick. What's the last one we have? The innocent
Go for it.
vampire.
The what?
The innocent vampire.
Huh.
So this is the type of vampire I was talking about, like the girl at that I told that she was an energy vampire, and she
Yeah.
kind of got a little upset and
Right,
kind of hurt about it. And I think these are probably going to be like the least offensive type of vampires, as far as energy vampires go. Because I think these are the ones that don't necessarily
Know they're vampires?
Know that they're vampires. These are the people that they're
They're
not,
the most dangerous of vampires.
they're the most dangerous. They will get you in your sleep.
Because they don't even know what they're doing.
But yeah, their intent, they're not like intentionally malicious like some of these other categories that we've talked about, like the Bob, with the melodramatic vampire, where he's like going and trying to create that drama because he thrives off of it, or like the narcissist or any of that. These people they're not really doing it on purpose. I think it's just they can be helpless types of people who genuinely need help, such as children or good friends who come to rely on you a little too much. Now, it's wonderful to help the people that you care about, but it's also important to encourage them to be self-sufficient. Playing the role of the constant rock or support will eventually erode your energy, and as a result, you'll have little energy to support yourself. So the indigent vampire,
They're
is
self-imploding.
kinda.
No, they're
not
No,
really.
they're getting you slowly.
Wait.
They're not malicious intent. It's just like they just constantly rely on you. So they're not. They're more not. They're. It's more that they're not like self-sufficient.
Okay, for some reason, I was thinking like it was yourself. That's just you're giving too much of yourself out there. That you're just.
Yeah, you are. That's why you're sucking your energy.
Well, this person is the one sucking the energy off of the person that they're asking to do all these things
Yes.
from. I was thinking it's reverse roles of
okay.
yeah.
So like they're draining your energy because they're always coming to you like, "Hey,
Yeah,
I need your help."
I was thinking it was the other way. Yeah.
This happens to me all the time. This one.
And they get so comfortable with the fact that like you're always there, willing to help them,
That they don't know how to do their own shit.
right?
Yeah.
And they're constantly draining your energy in the process, and they're not doing it intentionally. They're not, or not maliciously, anyways. They're not
No.
they're not trying to drain your energy.
They're asking for help.
So much.
Yes. Yes. An abundance of your help is what they're asking for.
And then when you get people like me, or I'm sure you guys are like this too, it's just like you got certain people in your lives that know you have a hard time saying no to this person, and they're constantly like asking.
Could be a parent. I don't know.
could be
Just an example.
but it's like it's someone that actually like I would say actually cares about you and looks up to you.
Right.
But at the same time, it's just like they're not willing to kind of learn to do things on their own. They're always coming to you for their problems and for their help. Yeah.
This is the one that I have the most interaction with is actually this one. And
it's probably what's funny is as we come across some of these, it's like, oh, that one's really common. Oh, no,
Yes.
that one's common.
yeah. Well, we talk about the ones that I think are the most common that most people experience
And
on
then
a
you came
day-to-day
across
basis.
this one. You're like, wait a minute.
I'm
now
all-
this
yeah.
one's even more common.
This is always around me all the time.
Yes. Well, you do have kids.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, think so.
I'd say with that type of vampire, like, I would more just kind of, instead of constantly like helping them, teach them how to do the things, help them become self-sufficient so they're not always needing the help from other people.
So I actually own a few businesses. One of them is a coaching business where I coach people in different areas of their life. And so a lot of times people come to me basically thinking I'm maybe a therapist. And they want to just kind of, throw up on me all their stuff. And it's different when you know it's going to happen, like, because, okay, that's why we're having this call or this one-on-one, because I'm expecting this. So that's different versus, you're in line at the grocery store and someone just is like, oh my gosh, my dog just threw up and my kids got an F in, their school, and they just throw it up on you like, whoa, I wasn't asking for this.
Hey, you can cut.
Right. But, so this is different because it's planned. Like I know they're going to call and talk to me. And that's what I do. I have to kind of walk them through, like, okay, no, I'm not here to give you the answers. I'm here to help you, coach you on how to improve this area. So I'm going to coach you to be, like you said, be self-empowered to do these things. But when you do help somebody, now it's like you just open up the door for them to always ask for your help now. And that's what they do. They constantly ask for your help and just is like, oh my goodness. So a good example, I'm going to say, I mentioned a parent, right, as an example. So for example, and I know he's probably listening, Dad, I love you. He'll ask me to help him like do something with like the TV, right, or how to stream a movie or show or whatever like that. And all the time, it's like you have to learn how to do it, because I'm not always going to be next to you. You have to learn, and so I'm always around this one, and yeah, it sucks your energy.
Well, watch your attitude change. It's funny.
It is funny.
No, you do it. A similar situation with my dad. Just you love my dad to death, really
Right.
do. And I know he doesn't listen to this, but he was the same way with like new technology.
Right.
When you're getting into smartphones and stuff like that. He's like, "Oh, this looks cool. I want it." So he buys it, and then he's just like, "Okay, how do you do it?"
Show me, yeah. Show me every detail.
There's a manual. No.
Tell me.
My favorite is like he's actually done this a couple times. He'll buy like groceries or stuff. He'll like find a recipe that he wants to make.
Okay.
So he'll go buy everything and be like, "Make this for me," which I don't mind doing because I love cooking.
Okay, that's good.
But it's just like he bought one of those Home Chef things recently. He's like, "You're better at this cooking stuff than I am," and I'm just like, "Wait, you taught me how to cook."
That's funny.
You've evolved.
Into a vampire. How do we slay these vampires?
Garlic.
Garlic,
Well,
yes.
See, that's why I cook. Is I put lots of
Oh,
garlic.
there
in
you
everything.
go. There you go. That's funny.
So, some of the ways to know that you're around an energy vampire is you're gonna feel
Bring mirrors with you.
bring mirrors. If you can't see them,
They're energy.
they're vampire. Always make sure you have silver. Is that a werewolf?
That's a
Silver
werewolf.
line mirrors.
Silver line mirrors. Make clothes with garlic around your neck.
There you go. Crosses.
Mirrors, crosses, stakes, so you can drive it through their heart. Preferably ribeyes because those taste the best.
With garlic, though.
With
You got
garlic,
garlic.
ribeyes with garlic. Food. But yeah, so you might feel maybe overwhelmed, stressed, physically ill, mentally or physically exhausted, and irritable or anxious, which I actually felt a lot of this last week. And I think it was more just with the going to Vegas and just accidentally like being kind of like a unintentional vampire at that point where I was just kind of pulling on people's energy as I'm walking past them. If that makes sense.
He's like touch them and absorb all their thoughts. Just walk by, absorbed, absorbed.
I know
I
people. I've actually met someone that could do that. They could just like touch you and tell you things about yourself.
Absorbed.
You're pretty much absorbed.
That's how I feel. I feel like a little drained, and I feel a little ill, which makes me angry. Actually, it makes me Hulk out.
Roar.
Yeah, like I
Devio
get
smash.
angry. Yeah, that's how I feel.
I'll start getting like
I'm getting itchy
I'll
right
start
now. I'm like,
sweating.
ugh.
I'll get all hot and start sweating. I'm like, I'm about to change. You don't want to see me change.
You all like me when I'm hungry.
I'll just disappear. Where'd he go? He ghosted out.
Ghosty out. So I guess some of the things that you'll notice the most with energy vampires, they'll display these characteristics. Some of them have big egos, like they love to debate, argue, or pick fights. Some will be overly aggressive or passive aggressive. Paranoia, resentment and anger issues, narcissism, melodramatic behavior, whining and complaining, bitching and gossiping, insecurity, like the constant need for reassurance and acceptance. They'll have manipulative behaviors, such as guilt tripping or emotional blackmail and jealousy. They tend to take energy vampires. They're going to take more from you than they give, obviously.
Yeah.
That's why they're vampires. It's also goes on to say that there are other types of energy vampires that aren't necessarily humans. Like objects can be energy vampires as well. And I think some of the examples. I think everyone listening to this can relate to this, but some Some of the following things can be considered energy vampires, like the internet, your TV,
Your phone.
or just electronic devices like
There you
phones. Public situations like crowds, parties, train stations, and shopping centers. And then animals. Neurotic pets can also be energy vampires. So reading this now, I think that more so Vegas might have been the energy vampire in this situation,
Right,
draining my
yeah.
energy.
Vegas is a fickle bitch.
Vegas is, yes.
Who wrote this? Was it like a therapist or kind of seemed? It's just the impression I get.
It might have been. I don't know.
I bet
It's-
it was.
But it was pretty interesting. I thought this was an interesting read. Like again, the 6 different types of energy vampires, and it was fun to just kind of pick out someone that I've known or know.
And judged.
Judge, you judgy vampire, you.
I do.
So, we'll just go through this list real quick.
If 2 energy vampires of the same category,
From the same coven.
from the same coven,
Yes.
of the judgmental kind, if they were both, okay, now here's the thing: can they suck each other's energy if they're both being pieces of shit at the same time?
Maybe. I don't know.
If one person's like, "Oh, how was your day? Oh, I wish I was dead. Oh, yeah, I wish I was dead," and they just like go back
kill
and
themselves?
forth. Yeah, but they kill themselves, or
Kill ourselves.
where they just like feed each other. Like, yeah,
That's a good one. That's a good question.
I don't know.
if they just keep feeding off each other, like talking about how shitty their day is to each
Yeah.
other back and forth, it's just like, yeah, this was a good conversation.
No, that is what they do. Okay, so I'll say this from another previous job that I was at. I remember like seeing ladies like go down in like the stairwells and just like have these
To their
little-
coven.
Yeah, down their little coven of the basement. Yeah, and just have like. So like I would not take the elevators up and down. Like I'd go up and down the stairs more.
And they
like
talk shit about it. Look at them in
About-
non-elevator use.
Yeah, about every. That's the thing. They're probably talking about everybody up in the office. That's what
Trying
they're
to save
doing.
energy using his own.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're just talking about everyone. They're just feeding off each other. Like, yeah, just going on these rants. That's exactly what they do. So yes, they feed off each other. I'll tell you right now.
They go to their covens and then just
Yeah.
Yep.
And just bitch sessions. That's what they do.
just feed.
Yeah.
They're going to feed.
And that's the thing. Is like you walk into that like stairwell, right, and you see
You feel
them just
that
like look
energy?
at you. Yeah, you feel it. You're like,
like
oh.
your food.
like, like they're gonna suck you, bust you out.
Stare at you like your food.
Yes. Yep. Energy food. So there's the answer. Yes, that's what they do. They feed off each other,
Oh,
and they just
that's
love
right.
it. Then they plan their attack for when the witching hour, and they come tapping on the windows of the little kids.
Yeah, wait till the sun goes down.
Yeah.
So if you hear someone singing, "Come, little children, I take thee away," run towards her because she's probably hot. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
I don't know what that is.
Sarah Jessica Parker in Hocus Pocus.
Oh, before she turned into a donkey.
Yeah.
Which,
Gosh.
Yeah, when she was young and attractive.
you've never seen that South Park episode?
Uh-uh.
Oh, yeah, they call her a donkey witch the whole time.
South Park. Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
Do you like fish sticks?
Not a gay fish.
That whole Kanye West episode, that was funny. So real quick, some of the things you can do to handle or avoid energy energy vampires. One is just don't make prolonged
Eye contact.
Eye contact.
Yeah, there we go.
No eye contact.
They'll know you want to talk to them.
They want to they'll suck you into their bitching
Like-
fest in their coven.
Yep.
Don't do it.
Yes.
Don't make eye contact.
Don't make eye contact. Next, don't spend a lot of time. Limit your time with them.
You have to. That's actually what I coach some of my clients. I just tell them you have to like get away from people like that. Just stay away. Befriend them if you have to.
Unfriend them, you mean.
Unfriend them.
Yep,
Befriend
that's
them.
what I said and meant. No, I've actually purposefully have unfollowed people on Facebook because they would just post nothing but negativity.
I've done that too.
Yeah, because they bitch about their job, they bitch about their spouse, their whatever's going on in their life, they bitch about. It's like, hey, you know what? I guess this is a platform you could use, but I'd rather not hear it, so I'm gonna unfollow you, not unfriend you, but unfollow you, so I don't have to see your posts.
The
anymore.
unfollow thing is like the greatest thing ever.
It is.
Because then you don't have to worry about them like complaining. Why did you unfriend me? It's
Exactly.
like, you just don't see their shit on Facebook anymore.
Uh-huh.
It's like they don't
It is a
exist to
great
you.
feature.
No, I've never unfollowed anybody, but I only see maybe like 50 people.
It's some weird algorithm.
Yeah.
Because I have like 400 people on my friends list, and I only ever see like the same like
10 people.
10 people over
Yeah.
and over again.
I've got, yeah.
And then every now and then, like one of them disappears, and like a new person, I start seeing their stuff.
Yeah, it's so weird.
But realistically, I don't want to see like 400 people's stuff popping up on Facebook.
It's true.
The next thing to do, learn not to react. So don't give them that. They're going to feed off your reactions, especially like narcissists.
Yeah.
Just give them the
Or the melodramatic
wow.
kind.
Just do that. Wow.
Wow. Cool.
Wow.
Like learn this phrase.
Don't say.
Very popular phrase for us all growing up. Cool story, bro.
Cool story, bro.
Wow.
The sarcastic tone.
Wow.
Wow.
That's special. That's cool. Wow. I'm going to start doing that too. Wow. So the other day, wow.
Wow.
Learn not to argue or contradict them.
Just let it go. Just let
Yeah.
it roll off.
Yeah.
Because
that's what they want, right? They want to get that engagement.
They're going to want to start debating or arguing with you, and they're going to feed off that. And basically, if you start arguing with somebody, you're going to just
You're feeding them.
you're feeding them your energy, and it's just going to drain you. Like
Now, if you don't react to it, does that deflate them?
sometimes.
No,
And
so
then does that make you the vampire now?
this is where you feed off of them.
Yeah.
You start
You're like,
knowing in your head what you're doing, and you
Gotcha,
start giving
bitch.
them. You start going, wow, and it's slowly killing them.
Right, and then now you're taking the energy.
Yes, now you're feeding off of it because you're laughing inside, going, ha ha ha.
And then when they're all like deflated, you go,
Yeah, as soon as they're walking off defeated.
Have you ever had that situation though, where you know someone's like coming
yeah,
to you looking for an argument,
yep,
and you just kind of like you agree with them, and you're like,
Yeah.
you know what, you're right.
Yep.
And then they just kind of look at you like they don't know what to do.
right, because they wanted a battle.
I've been on both sides of that. I've gone into stuff looking for a fight and
Yeah,
looking for an argument, and when the person like doesn't give it, I'm just kind of like, it just takes that away.
Right.
It takes it right away because you just like you've got it all played up in your head like
Yeah.
how you want this argument to go. You're looking for the argument, and they're just like, you know what, you're absolutely right, and it just takes it away from them. I actually did this with someone about a year ago. They were sitting there just verbally vomiting on me about how I was such a terrible person, and I could tell like they were expecting me to argue back, and I just said, you know, when they got done spewing all this negativity at me, I just looked at them and I said, do you feel better now?
yeah,
Wow. I literally said, do you feel better now? No. And I'm like, okay, give me some more then. Which was probably a bad thing for me to do because I was taking all that negativity.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was just like, I think I was kind of making him angrier that I wasn't like arguing back with him. I was just like,
Yes.
do you feel better now? Like, keep going until you feel better. Like,
I don't like energy vampires.
I don't either. But, you know, I think sometimes at some point in time,
We've all done it.
we've all done it.
But there's some people that's just their personality. They're always doing it. That's
Yes.
the thing.
This is true. And those are the type of people that you want to be around in groups.
And I do think that
Yeah.
they will turn you. If you start hanging out
Yes.
with that coven too much, they
Yeah.
turn you.
Oh yeah.
It's
And
true.
then you also start draining other people's energy because you start becoming a...
Oh, I would see it at this old job. The stairwell would grow in membership of this coven membership.
Yeah, they'd grow in members.
As new employees would come on and get hired, be trained by some of them, the coven would grow in size.
Join our team.
Yeah, come down here.
One of us. One of us. Google gobble. Google gobble.
Come down here, you'll like it.
Join the dark side. We have cookies. But yeah, so one way to combat energy vampires is to be in groups. Let them suck other people's energy instead of your own. I'm not sure that's exactly what it... But it's one of those things that's like, if you have, like in this case, in your little coven here in the stairwell, the more negative people you have, the more you're going to pull in that negativity.
Yeah.
But if you kind of counteract that, if you've got that one negative person, you just surrounded by positivity, you can kind of change the balance there.
So next time you walk into that situation where you're like food to them,
Yeah.
you go, if you're going to suck anything, suck on this.
I got 2 words for you.
Suck it.
You know, and another thing, I think it's the narcissist vampire, or maybe it's one of the other ones. One of the things that they do though is they talk at you. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Or they talk. They just want you to listen to them. They don't really care about anything that you have to say. So one of the things that it actually says here to do is to listen more than you talk.
Okay.
Because you have those types of vampires that are just going to want to. They want to talk about themselves a lot, and maybe some people listening to this kind of realize that they do that too. Where when you're having conversations with people, you're mainly talking about yourself, and you don't ask the other person. It's never like, hey, DVO, how are you doing? Tell me about your day. It's just like, I'm going to come in. This is all the shit that happened to me today. And basically you can go fuck yourself and listen to my stories.
So thanks for listening. Bye.
Pretty much. Yeah. So try to be that person that kind of listens and empathizes with the people that you're talking to.
So
Read the room.
Sucking.
Read the room. Yeah. Ghosty, read the room.
Yeah, do less sucking.
Less suck, more good.
It makes me think the way you just stated is people like say, hey, I have a question for you. And it's just more of a statement. It's like, oh, what was the question now?
These stairs that you got over here, they need to be straighter.
I have a question for you. I like tacos. Another thing that suggests doing is sticking to lighthearted topics.
There you go.
So just, again, try
like
bringing
ghosts
the
and
positivity.
paranormal and UFOs and stuff.
Yeah.
Stick to those type of topics.
Visualize. It says many people claim that visualizing protective light and energy shields around them help to deflect psychic fatigue. And that's actually one of the things that the energy worker I was working with told me to do. Like when I'm going on vacation or going into large crowds of people, to kind of bubble myself or protect myself, do like a shielding, to just imagine that you've got this like protective barrier around you that's going to just bounce all those negative emotions off of you. You're not going to absorb them.
There's a great individual named Tom Hopkins. He does a lot of like sales books and audios and trainings about sales, but he does talk about a little bit of like negativity. And when someone like talks to you about negativity, just in your head say bad seeds, because it plants, like negativity plants bad seeds inside of you that sprout into negativity as well. Because negativity can be very cancerous, where I mean by that, it kind of grows and spreads. And what he said is just, oh gosh, what do you call it? I can't remember what he said, but he said just in your head say bad seeds and just pretend you're like in a pod and you zip up the pod close. You kind of tune them out and you do that and it makes you seem really weird and they want to leave you alone anyway. Because you're yelling bad seeds, and you pretend to zip yourself up in a pod and then they just think you're weird and leave.
So don't just imagine it, act it out.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the last 2 things to do, avoid if possible, and then as a last resort, just completely cut them out of your life. There is a
The
lot
selenite daggers.
Selenite daggers. There's this article is very long, and we're already in an hour, so I'm not going to go through the rest of this article, but those are the kind of main things to kind of help you identify energy vampires and some of the things that help you kind of combat energy vampires. When we post this, I'll put a link to this article in there as well, so you can read more about the things that we talked about.
Good.
And some of the stuff that we didn't touch on, because there's stuff in the article that we didn't go over everything, but we only have so much time, and I didn't actually think that this episode was going to last an hour.
Because we all have some examples. And we had to get that off our chest and help each other out here.
But if you or someone you know is an energy vampire, stop it.
Yes.
Yeah, go to and play that.
Peace out, butterflies.
This is the EVP Podcast.